guess I should stand over here. I'm very grateful to be receiving this recognition. Thank you, Real Asian. Thank you, Deanna Wong. Thank you, Sandra Oh. Thank you, Helen, as well. Thanks to the Firehorse jury and my nominators. Thanks to my family for putting up with me all this time. And I wish my parents could be here to see this. Thank you everyone for your congratulatory messages. I'm honestly feeling like I'm an overnight sensation. I received an email from Professor Elaine Chang asking if she could nominate me for the Firehorse Award. After I said, of course, yes, Elaine got in touch with Richard Fung to work with her on my nomination. Richard himself received a perhaps more deserved nomination for the Firehorse, but he turned his nomination down to continue working on nominating me. I'd like to share a pertinent email that Elaine wrote regarding this, quote, "The sore point about competitions is they can promote rivalry, exceptionalism, conflict among allies, because they're built to work on the illusion that winners are categorically the very best, singular. But I think this proves that the spirit of solidarity, collaboration, creativity, as a life force that doesn't securely belong to privatized, insular individuals is the winner here," end quote. Thank you, Elaine, for your wisdom. It is in the spirit of solidarity and collaboration outlined by Elaine Chang, practiced by Richard Fung, that I thankfully accept this wonderful Firehorse Award today. And I pledge to carry forward the intentions in which the Firehorse Award was conceived. When I started filmmaking in the late 60s, I wouldn't have been able to imagine that I would be here looking into the room today and seeing so many wonderful faces. Times have really changed. In the 70s, working as an assistant director, I had my life threatened by a Teamster driver captain. He would rant at me, and everybody on set laughed like it was a huge joke. When one of the stunt people started to speak up on my behalf, he was taken aside by the producer and told not to antagonize the Teamsters. They were a powerful union. I was so stressed, but this proved to be a turning point because it made me realize I had to address such experiences in my work and films. As the first Chinese-Canadian filmmaker, there were difficult times, but there were also people who were welcoming and supportive. Michael Snow, Joyce Whalen, Claude Chutra, Michael Andache, to name a few. And I really learned a lot from their unique perspectives. Out of gratitude to them, and knowing there are many people in our society who have it much worse than I do, I've wanted to do more for the filmmaking community to help other people. As a child, I witnessed the importance of a strong sense of community. From age 7 until university, I worked in my father's store in the old Chinatown. Back in those days, the banks would not lend money to Chinese Canadians. So the family organizations in Chinatown founded their own banking systems, which didn't charge interest. The sad old Chinese bachelors who built the railroad had no families because of the Chinese Exclusion Act, and many were sleeping in doorways. So my father and a few people founded the Monchong Home for the Aged, the very first facility of its kind. I think it's because they had these wonderful examples of community that I'm here today, and I'm thankful this spirit of community is embraced by the Firehorse Award, ensuring it will be carried safely forward into the future. In conclusion, and to lighten the mood a bit, I'd like to relate a story about a personal encounter I had with a firehorse. 30 years ago, I was on the board at the CFMDC and helped to introduce an affirmative action hiring policy. This idea deeply divided the board, and a very bitter battle broke out, which was put to a vote at the annual general meeting. Activists and filmmakers of color were mobilized, and the hiring policy passed. At the next board meeting, opponents of the initiative referred to these members as outside agitators. They were members. After that, I resigned. The first intern hired under the new policy was a young Korean-Canadian woman. First name Anita, family name Lee. In 1997, I ran into Anita Lee. We both had films showing in the New York Asian American Film Festival. She told me that she and Andrew Sun wanted to start an Asian Canadian Film Festival in Toronto. Later, searching for someone with board experience, she invited me to be on the board. I told her emphatically, no. After the CFMDC board, I will never be on the board ever again. Anita's firehorse must have kicked in at that point because her pitch totally changed, and she replied, "This is not really a board. It's a group of people who meet in cafes to talk about film." That sounded pretty good. I served on the Real Asian Board for 9 years. Thank you, Real Asian, for this enormous honor and recognition. And thank you, everyone, for your wonderful messages of congratulations. I'm going to shut up now. I'm very grateful for this award, and I accept it with deep love and adoration. Thank you.
One more time for Keith Block. Actually, for the next hour and a half, Keith Block. Let's hear it one more time. Enjoy this. Now, please eat, drink, be merry, hang out, and thanks for being here.
Me too.